Welcome. This is CEN, the Collective Entertainment Network. We want to begin tonight by first and foremost thanking John, who for has so splendidly run the basically like the last month and a half's worth of sessions here from by running 2C Gaming's Dragonflight, where we as the players get to play as actual dragons. Fantastic source, fantastic set of games, fantastic story. If you missed that, please check that out under our live show section of our YouTube channel. It was awesome, and it is a great, fantastic prequel for when John returns next, which will be as our GM for our up and coming Odyssey of the Dragon Lords campaign, which that will be beginning in September, where we as players will take on the roles of heroes of prophecy in a Greek-themed world on the brink of calamity. And we must work together to save the world and to embrace our destinies. But,
Well said.
thank you. But for tonight's broadcast, we return to the world of Asraya, a world of our own, to discover what stories shall unfold. Join us as we write the Fables of Asraya. Dreams. According to every study imaginable, from the Imperium Academy of Science, Philosophy, Magic, and every other subject imaginable, dreams are absolutely random nonsense. A chaotic mess of images and make believe sounds that fire off as we meditate and sleep and stare vacantly off into space, caused by the humanoid brain doing maintenance and the equivalence of software updates, occasionally touching on the memories of the day. They are fleeting, meaningless things that we experience dozens of times a night, yet can barely find the brain power to remember the last one we had before we awoke. Dreams, according to every study imaginable, are nothing more than the accidental byproduct of an organic computer's self cleaning process. It is therefore no wonder, then, that Torma, the primordial goddess of wind and the shaper of dreams, loves nothing more than to send messages to mortals through these meaningless visions. Whispers of secrets untold, of hidden inner truths, of approaching futures both malevolent and benign. The wind of many colors delights in painting cryptic messages into the chaotic imagery of the sleeping mind, and seeing who might faithfully or foolishly believe that their dream of delicious tacos has a deeper meaning. This, despite every study imaginable proving otherwise, leads people to believe in something deeper. As we get back into this a little more proper, as you all recall, where we had last left off, you had all been given a job, been given a duty to assist a representative of an Imperium noble who has promised to pay you, of course, in the recovery of an iron carriage, a heavy duty uh, carriage of cast iron, very impenetrable, very well defended, that had been stolen from a group of guards hired by this Imperium noble representative to transport it from the western side of the continent over to the eastern, going through the northern passage, traveling through the Freelands. Uh, As you began to investigate and began to look into trying to find where these bandits were, you realized that there was something else going on, that there were newcomers who had changed these bandits who had previously been more equivalent to just like a neighborhood gang into actual violent, murderous even individuals. Um, Two figures who had joined their group and had seemingly drawn them into a much more violent lifestyle. Uh, you had made contact with one of their a what would be the right word? A bandit who was in the midst of quitting by the name of Carl, who you were able to convince to lead you to the bandit camp, at which point you were able to get in and proceeded very quickly into enact violence um, through through various uses and primarily through the use of a fiery tornado of doom. You were able to not only subdue the bandits, but were able to defeat these two ringleaders who had taken over the bandit camp. A man by the name of Marcus, as well as a woman by the name of Liana. Marcus seemingly having psionic powers of some kind, and Liana able to actually mutate and shift her own flesh. Um, but you have defeated them and have essentially taken the bandits into custody for the purpose of taking them to the Imperium to seek justice, but wanting to ensure that justice was properly done. Theros, a noble of T'Pol, a heir to be of the city of Dromos, has also put in his own request of justice to ensure that there would be a fair trial given to these men. That this would not be a one-sided sort of affair. But with that, you have acquired these, counting 22 men who are essentially in your custody. You have put them to use as far as dragging back all of their booty and their loot that they have acquired over the last few weeks, and you have led them back to West City. You enter into this city. I'm assuming you guys are entering in straightforward. I'm not like trying to sneak in or anything with 22 bandits. You're
I'm good, but I'm not that good.
Yeah. You lead these 22 men back to the city. The welcome is a little mixed. For while on the one side these people are happy to see these people who have essentially gone on a rampage, brought to heel, brought to justice, there is a mix of emotions as they see the Imperium soldier of Saren leading this group, keeping these men in line, keeping them restrained. But for whatever bad blood there may be between the Freelands and the Imperium, ultimately that does give way to angers and cries for justice against crimes that have been committed directly against them. These bandits who all have, though they may be known to the people, they have hurt people whom they have hurt friends, they've hurt family, they have stolen, they have gone far beyond what was graciously permitted of them to do. And so the reception is gradually turns towards anger towards these bandits as you lead them through town. And I take it you guys are taking them directly to Traveler's Respite, the inn where this Imperium noble or noble representative had been.
Yeah.
Okay. As a reminder, as well, as far as loot and stuff that you did acquire, in addition to all the materials and things that were there, which was building materials, food materials, probably about another 250 gold worth of stuff. There was also recovered from the tent of Marcus a interesting looking great axe, as well as a it looks just like a hilt of a sword, with a Topolian design to it, as well as amongst the very few things that were left after the fireball that was dropped inside the tent. There's also a few bits and pieces of correspondence, most of it burned. Probably only one good letter out of the entire bunch remains. And you guys also made a point of recovering the body of Marcus himself. So you do have those things with you as well. But as you guys are traveling through this town, as you seeing all this um, occurring, uh, do you guys have anything you wish to say, or do you wish to say, do, speak with each other, or do you wish to proceed?
I've pretty much said what I have to say about things right now. So I mean, I know that it wasn't a popular decision, but Claren's trying pretty much to keep quiet about things right now.
Okay.
I was gonna try to keep the people from getting too close while Saren and Sir Theros are trying to get the people to where they're going, just in case the crowd kind of turns into a mob very quickly.
Kind of keeping a lookout on kind of the crowd, seeing if there's anyone. And for the most part, there's a lot of shouting, but there's not a lot of people trying to get too much closer. Um,
Also, I wasn't turning in the body of Marcus. I was keeping that to go to the cleric to speak with Dead on him because he had mentioned a name I was familiar with. So I'm not giving that up to the
Understood.
that guy.
That is
He's mine.
100% understood.
That's my corpse.
And to be clear, all that Jacob Smith had requested of you guys was merely the return of the carriage. Everything else was as you saw fit. Um, but anything else, Theros? Did you have anything you wanted to say or do as you guys are traveling through this town?
Just wanted to bring the cart to its owner. Um, maybe let uh, uh, the captain there, Captain Saren, do that since he has a connection with the owner, and then take the bandits to the leader of the village to see what the leader of the people wants to do with his people that have broken their rules.
Okay. With that said, are you guys wanting to split this, or are you guys wanting to do this simultaneously, separately? Theros break away with the men to go speak to the leader, and Saren break away to go speak to the noble, or stick together.
I'm good with either. It's what does Rose and John want to do?
I I kind of want to stick together, but I mean, at least Saren, he would want to go to the wronged party first before he went to the local lord. Um, just so that the imperial officer, not the imperial officer, but the imperial noble rather, would be there to state his case at the same time, because you can't have a court case without the witnesses present.
So, do we want to grab them and meet them all before we start talking to them both? See if we can meet with the representative of the noble from the Imperium as well as the leader and just talk all together then?
Sure.
How wonderfully diplomatic your answer is.
All right.
So I'll take Theros to where probably the town leader probably would be while Saren goes to grab the noble.
You being an actual Freelander, you would know that there isn't necessarily a specific town leader. That the town leader is essentially the person who holds the master contract for the town.
Yeah, so it's
Uh,
not really a leader as
just as
much
a
as the
reminder,
one with the most money at the
yeah.
moment.
So, like, because as a reminder, like the freelance cities and towns, they work by everyone essentially signing a an agreed contract that, hey, these are the rules we are going to abide by ourselves, and within ourselves, anyone who does not agree to it, hey, you're not protected by this either. But if you sign it, you're protected by it. And typically, the person who has the most power or influence within a town is the one who typically holds onto that charter and keeps a hold of it. Um,
So
in
just like a Hoa.
basically, um, in the case of this specific town, that actually would be
So wasn't it a girl? I think I saw someone's name. I thought it was a girl on a building or something, wasn't there?
correct. Let me actually pull you guys to the map.
I say
of
it's kind of
West
like at the
City.
north end. It's a big building and had like a name I kind of recognized on it. I think Rose did.
Yeah. So if you guys all should be on this map now, I believe.
Yes.
Everyone can see.
Yeah, Von shot yeah, there it is.
Enchante
Okay.
Company HQ. Which the full proper name of the company of the retail company is Von Chade's Attire for All Occasions. Um, Actually, let's have everyone roll a history check if you guys would like to do so. There we go. Theros getting that 24 action in there.
He's a smart barbarian.
It's actually kind of fitting that I feel like Theros gets the 24 considering this. All of you actually recognize this name. For Rose, are you rolling Eclipse yet, or
Oh
I
yeah, I
just
can
noticed
change my name
your
back.
tag in there.
I
Okay,
have to change my name back. Hold on.
just double check.
This game just changed a whole bunch really quick.
Whoa, hold up. But Sienna, you recognize this name fairly easily. Von Chaudet. She's one of the five great merchant lords who basically run the freelance. Um, for you, Saren, you recognize the name because the Von Chaudet company actually does trading inside the Imperium. She is actually, if you recall correctly, which you do, she is actually has Imperium citizenship. Um, but from what you understand, it's primarily for taxes and trading purposes. She's a citizen in name and on paper. You, Theros, it's actually rather fitting that you rolled exceptionally high. Um, you understand that the Von Chaudet company is not just a freelance company, is not just an Imperium company. The Von Chaudet company is a continental company. Um, the Von Chaudet company is quite probably the most successful company in the entire known world. They while they don't necessarily have shops in your territory, they do have in Topal. They do have a subsidiary which is known as of Sand and Silk, who's a subsidiary trading company under their umbrella. They encompass they are continent wide. They are a massive company, and you do not want to make enemies of Madame von Chaudet at any given point because you will essentially be kicked out of any sort of market.
Ah, he would know that because he helps his father with the trading and stuff into town and then
Exactly. No,
into
of
paradise.
Sand and Silk. Of Sand and Silk is a trading partner. Actually, your
A Von Chaudet
brother-in-law
company.
your brother-in-law is actually part of that company. Uh, one of your yeah, your brother-in-law who married your Tabaxi sister
Ah.
is part of that company. But regardless, all of this comes to all of you in your own specific way. Are you wanting to grab the noble first and head over the Von Chaudet company, or are you grabbing? Okay.
That seems
Uh,
like the plan.
Yeah.
to speed things along, you are able to first off rescue Pogo, who is up a tree nearby. Get him down. Him and the familiars are sort of left near the Von Chaudet HQ, along with the men, the equipment, all of that stuff. And you guys are able to quickly make your way over to Traveler's Respite, where to speed things along, you head in there, and you are able to very quickly find your way to this noble, who comes out to actually is waiting for you in the lobby. Hello. I heard there was a lot of commotion. Were you able to secure my carriage? I heard that you came back into town with a large number of men. Did you capture the bandits?
Captured the bandits, and they were forced to carry the carriage back to whence it came. We didn't have many horses.
Well, I must say, I'm rather impressed. I was honestly it was just expecting to get that carriage back, but you actually brought these bandits to heel entirely. Amazing.
There are
Ah,
22 awaiting to seek justice for their crimes of murder.
there's 22.
Along with
Um,
various other crimes.
mm,
Yes, murder
right.
and assault of a visiting delegate. They've racked up quite the rap sheet.
Armed robbery, assault, murder, mayhem.
You know, I'm really jealous. I've never been able to do a Scottish. My dwarves always don't, because I can't do it. That's well done, Ray. Well
It's not
done.
Scottish.
I,
I'm just
whatever.
rolling my R's.
Because he's a
Grr,
cat and it's perfect.
perfect. But still, it sounds great. I'm sorry.
It's
It's so good I broke character.
Yay, Sir Theros broke the fourth wall.
That's a great Scottish accent. It's not a Scottish accent.
Well, no, it's a Tapali accent, obviously. What
Apollyon.
is? Who is Scott?
So depending upon which area of T'Pol you're from, you either have a Scottish accent or you have a Greek accent. You know, depending upon which one area you're from. You've sort of adopted kind of the Western T'Polian accents because you've had to do a lot of schooling. Most of your travel back in the country was in sort of the Western states. You
I
don't get
find
back to
myself
drum up as
somewhere
much
in
as
the
you
middle
want.
where I have a little bit of the Scottish accent and a little bit of not.
I like
Quite.
it. Regardless, astounded at your foreign tongue, at your impeccable elocution. Um, the Hakob looks at you all. I mean, of course, I wish to see justice done for the men whose lives were lost. Um, I only have two men though left. You said there's 22. Has the town has Madame von Chaudet spoken to any of this at all?
We've sent someone so that we may present our cases to the madam
Ah,
simultaneously.
of course. Then let's head on over there. Perhaps she might be able to give some insights or some objection. Um,
If the
yeah,
logistics are what proves difficult, I might have a solution for that as well. But we'll cover that. We'll burn that bridge when we get to it.
of course, of course. Then if you would lead the way, unless you are hoping to receive your payment. I had given all of you initially 500 gold, and I promised, I believe, another 750. I want to say each.
Yes.
I can, of course, get that taken care of in advance, if you would like.
I believe there will be time for financial matters. We should dispense with
Get the people
guests.
where they're going before a
Right,
mob
right,
starts.
right.
Yes,
Oh,
the
yes,
fate of man. The fate of men is much more important than counting coins, I
yes,
believe.
yes, 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 yes. Of course. Freelance believe in enacting their own justice. Yes, lead the way, if you would.
I'll lead the way. I know where to go.
And you guys all head on out. You make your way northward, traveling by the market, making your way towards the Von Chaudet Company HQ. Um, as it stands, as you arrive, the Pogo and the familiars are doing their best to look imposing. Pogo has once again managed to bring this giant sword that Theros insists he carry on his back, planted it firmly in the ground, um, but once again has forgotten to actually remove the strap. So it nonetheless looks intimidating. But a keen observer will note that it has sunk into the ground like a good 3 inches, and he's doing his best to look intimidating, but he's kind of strapped to this thing. He couldn't move from the spot if he wanted to. But along with the familiars, they seem to have done a fairly adequate job in dissuading people from approaching, though the crowd is gathering, and you do notice the noise level is starting to rise. People are starting to get more and more worked up.
uh, will is head to the front door of the company HQ and attempt to reach Madame Blanchet.
As you approach the door opens. A very, very well dressed man, dressed essentially like a butler. Um, but the finery is incredible. Like his clothing is very, very high quality as he steps out the door. Um, Looks to you all as you approach and smiles and says, "Ah, greetings. Welcome to Madame Vanchardet's company. If you would but wait just a few moments, she will be down shortly to deal with this.
This. Yes, thank you.
In the meantime, do you require any refreshments, any relief of sorts? Our restrooms are, of course, through the doors and to the right if you require time to relieve yourselves. Is there anything you require?" And he seems
No,
completely oblivious to the gathering crowd and the rising noise.
no, thank you for your hospitality. You'll wait.
Excellent, excellent. Do you require seating?
I'm okay.
Excellent.
Um, is Sienna and Certheros going inside?
No.
Because Saren would stay outside, and I'll just stand outside the door if I have
Uh,
to. I want to make
this
sure that
man
if this
is
powder keg goes off, I can do something.
this man has more or less stepped out through the door, having seen your guys' approach. And it's shockingly it's a glass door. You're kind of surprised. You wouldn't really expect it because that sort of structuring doesn't really exist much anywhere else yet. Seemingly is here. Um, but no, he has stepped outside of the doors. He is meeting you all outside before you can even reach the lobby. And the noise in the crowd is still seemingly gathering and still rising up. Um, you get the distinct feeling if this is left to its own device, if no one says or does anything, that something there might be a shot thrown, someone might throw something, someone might try something here, and there is gathering tension in the air.
Um, if Theros sees there's this the the boiling point, he might stand up and address the crowd to get everyone to like relax. Or justice will be had here, but we have to wait for the proper people to be in place.
Do you want to go ahead and give me a speech? Oh, inspiring leader.
What we're in West City, right?
West City, yes. So you are standing on the steps leading up into this building. There are these men who have been gathered. They have essentially been corralled. They have been completely disarmed.
Mm-hmm.
There's some of them definitely are muscularly swollen from whatever drug or stimulant they were taking. Um, but the crowd, you see, there are people who have weapons in the crowd. There are people who have knives, daggers, swords, axes, crossbows, hoes. You see a couple people who have reapers in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you never quite realized it, but every single person in this town has a weapon.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
and you were suddenly very, very aware of this as there is a growing crowd. Noise is rising. Theros, what do you say?
Free people of West City, I know you all here are for justice, but justice must be done in a correct way. Mobs will not solve. These bandits have wronged you, have wronged the city and the people. They have wronged the Imperium. They have wronged the Paul. Each with their own claim to justice. We should hear the words of the master of the contract of the city. So so that everyone that is guilty may find justice appropriate. Relax. The people involved will speak in front of all of you so that you may hear the words. Mob mentality will not seek or bring the justice you seek.
All right. Give me a when you have a moment. There's a child who runs up to you and just gives you a hug out of nowhere. Give me a persuasion check at advantage because of this child who has run up to you and given you a hug. 15. Um,
You said advantage, right?
yeah, actually, you're right. That is a 26. Um, so you, as you speak these words, as you finish, even in the midst of your speech, you hear some people trying to voice up, but they hurt my brother. They stole this from me. And people starting to voice their grievances, but then others around them are just like, shh, just let him finish. As you seem to placate the crowd, their anger is still there. Their rage is still present, but you have, for the moment at least, um, seem to calm them. Uh, After a short bit, the doors to the company open and men begin to file out. Well armed men in glistening ornate armor begin to file out and begin to create a perimeter around this space. The crowd immediately starts stepping back as these men emerge, all of them with pikes, it appears, with short swords at their sides, very well armed men as they form this perimeter. And then out from the main doors steps a woman in a beautiful purple dress that's and I mean like Southern Belle sort of type dress, where it's the dress kind of comes out, becomes this beautiful bell shape. Her waist very obviously wearing a corset because you're not sure anyone can have a waist that small and live. Um, a very well contained bosom, pearl necklace draping down her head, a massive, beautiful purple hat with flowers decorating the top of it, a black fan in her hands as she steps out, curly, reddish orange hair underneath this hat. As she steps out,
So,
fan unfurls,
so what you're saying is she's from District 1.
basically. Uh, fan unfurls. She begins to look around. A middle-aged woman wears like eyeshadow makeup, but she's not as painted as people from District One would be. Um, she very much gives like an older woman vibes and the way she just steps out, the way she looks around, the way she just seems to she seems to own the space that she occupies as she sort of steps out, looks around, smiles, puts her arms out to either side, and says, "Welcome, my fellow West City people, to Madame von Chaude's attire for all occasions. I am aware that many of you have grievances in this a exotic hour of need, but I must say there is much work to be done that is not getting done. And I believe that you should all return to your businesses, for it is in your, mine, and all of our best interests that our beautiful city continues to function. Off you go now. Off you go. Disperse, please." And seemingly as if almost magically, they all turn and just start walking away. You have no idea if some sort of spell or something occurred, but everyone just the mob just vanishes. as this woman just seemingly takes command of this situation instantaneously. As she turns to look at all of you, it's like, and you're the ones who have brought this to my doorstep, are you not?
I look
Well,
at Captain Saren Casbian, and I go,
Yes.
most marvelous. Oh, you have a very fine jacket. Is that one of ours, perchance? Can you check the inside collar if you see the little, the helmet with the hat symbol on the inside?
It absolutely is one of yours. I need not check. You have a command of fashion as almost as complete as your command over this crowd. How wonderful to see someone so regal in bearing.
Your charming words will only get you so far, but they will get
Hopefully,
you
it's
far.
far enough.
Mm. Your names, if you would. I, as I said, am Madame von Chaudet. This is my company. Madame von Chaudet is attire for all occasions. You, good sir, the gentleman wearing the very fashionable cloak.
Captain Caspian of the Imperial Royal Air Cavalry.
Oh, a man in uniform. I'm always partial to those. And you, my very, very well muscled gentleman from a foreign land. Might I have your name?
Reducimos Kyrie von Schaffen. I am Chaheros of Dromos.
And you lose your name forever. No, kidding. She's not a fae. Um, ah, of Dronos. I see it now. You very much have your father's face. I love the features. They're very, very fine.
Thank you, Kyrie.
And you, beautiful flower,
my name is Sienna.
Sienna. No titles, no famous last names, nothing. Oh,
Nothing of note, no.
I like you. You seem to be in the mercenary business. This business needs more women like such as yourself. Women who wish to make a name for themselves, I presume.
Something like that. I'm looking for some people, but this
Ah,
came across our plate first, so
most interesting. And Hick, she goes over to the retainer and she gives him a big, friendly hug. It is so good to see you. You must stop by more often. I love the last letter you left me. Well, it's that. Would you all care to come inside? I do not care too much for the weather out here, and the sun is terrible for my skin.
yes, thank you.
Oh, and as for your men, my men will keep watch of them for in the meantime. If you would care to come inside, our lobby has. I've had some lovely, cool drinks brought down. I'm sure your various battles and such have left you quite uh, dehydrated. She leads you back inside, and sure enough, there is. First off, you notice the temperature in this lobby is probably like 15 degrees cooler than it is outside. It is summer, or at least the beginnings of summer. Um, and it feels so much cooler being in this lobby. There is a beautiful marble tiled floor, magnificent pillars that rise up, and mannequins in various all throughout here in this lobby, seemingly displaying all the various different fashions. On one side, you see various different like high quality evening clothing. Over there, like everyday wear. Over here, you see surprisingly a like almost workers' clothes. You would imagine very nice looking. And probably very expensive, but looks like they're very high durability, and all the way moving into armor and what you would assume to be arcanist robes and various other things as well. Um, as you go in, and there is indeed furniture set up in the center of this lobby. Its placement doesn't seem to make sense until you realize that it was brought down literally just this instance for this meeting. Um, There are attendants nearby, all of whom have silver dishes with looks like pitchers on them. There's some snacks and some fruits and things that are set up on this table, at this little coffee table. As she goes and she takes a seat, and the rest of you are free to file in and take a seat as well. As she takes a seat and drinks are offered to all of you, and you may choose to take those as you see fit. Seems to be sweet tea.
It does take it. Insulting not to.
I'll take some.
And it's very high quality. It is delicious. It is amazing.
Yeah, I'll grab a
Uh,
strawberry on the way down and just sort of sit down and munch on that.
Even as you pick up the strawberry, there's a strangely before you even taste it, there's this really strong like rose-like scent. And as you bite into it, you have never tasted such a flavorful strawberry before in your entire life. Um, it tastes like it's expensive. It tastes like money.
Tastes like gold. I got it.
Exactly. But as you all sit down, she smiles at all of you as you get situated. No. What brings you to my doorstep? You have brought various bandits to my doorstep, but you are not obviously not intending to invade. That would be absolutely foolish to come in through the front door. So,
Our apologies, Kira. I mean, Madame von Schap. Sorry, Kira is natural for me. Uh, Apologies for bringing them to your doorstep, but we are made aware that you hold the contract for the city, the workers, the people.
absolutely, absolutely.
That,
All
that's
the people in the city signed the charter, and I more or less ensure the security of the city. I care for it. I care for the people here.
is why that we've decided to bring the bandits to you for justice.
Hmm,
No,
I see.
the way we see the attack on the city people, they have been accused of those crimes. The attack on the Imperium coach, and then the attack on myself. All
That's
three.
putting it lightly.
It's
Murder,
well,
various accounts of murder on the men of the Imperium as well as people here. And
The
Sir Theros
farmhouse as
actually
well.
would came up with a clever idea of maybe extraditing them to Paul or something to get them I wouldn't say unbiased, that may be the wrong word, but we are unsure of who should be punishing them. Would it be the Imperium or the people here in the Freedlands, as both parties have been wronged?
Interesting. So very, very much so a conundrum. Well, if you wish to see justice done for them in the simplest way possible, I would simply let them go free, and then the people of this city will see to it that justice is done, though it may not necessarily be pretty. But if you're seeking a more humane justice, I have no problem seeing to it that they are permitting them to be extradited to the Imperium or even all the way southward to Dromos, though it might be difficult to transport them. I did not get an exact head count. How many were they
22.
exactly? 22 men.
Those are the ones that are left. There were others.
Ah, so some justice has already been done, I see.
These are the ones that surrendered and stopped when told to.
Jacob speaks up and says, Madame von Chader, I lost men to these people, and if possible, yes, I would wish to see justice done. However, I lack resources as far as being able to transport them. However, you, Captain Caspian, said you had a possible solution to this.
I do, yes.
Might I ask for your solution?
Uh, I and my unit are on a diplomatic mission to the nearby kingdoms, the neighbors of the Imperium, to spread goodwill and the shining light of civilization. And as such, I have a retinue of my available soldiers, members of the 50th Air Cavalry, waiting my commands. Usually, it's to come dig a well for a farmer or build a schoolhouse on the edges of civilization. However, they are men that I trust with my lives, men that I've served with, men that I've seen fight, and they are more than capable of a prisoner transport of 22 or even more people. They're on my payroll and they're nearby.
Hmm. The only objection I would see with that is that people do not care to see Imperium soldiers, especially transporting people through the cities and through the lands nearby. You would cause a great deal of ruckus and you would disrupt business in the area.
The last thing I would want is to disrupt anything. They have ways to remain unseen as they do such things.
Mm.
You see, most people don't think to look up.
You'd be surprised this close to the mountains how much people are wary of the skies. It is certainly doable, though I might have an alternate suggestion if you are willing to consider it. Mr. Hackle, I know your lord, and I am very, very interested in doing more business with him. So perhaps I could offer a favor. Grant me an audience with your lord, and I will have my men take care of these bandits. My men under my name have my permission to be able to travel into the Imperium under as part of my business, and they may even travel into as far as the pole. But I would very much love to get the ear of a marquis, if you would be so willing to offer it, Jacob. Um, that is
Far more
plausible.
favorable than the other solution. I'll cut him off and I'll say that.
I I suppose that would be the reasonable solution to this circumstance. Considering I don't have the manpower, and it sounds like Sir Caspian or Captain Caspian. I apologize. You haven't been knighted. Um, that I would not wish to put your men out so far out of bounds. Uh, I believe that could be an acceptable solution. I can pass word on to my lord, and he can be in communication with you shortly, or within a reasonable amount of time. Marvelous. Well, I believe we have a solution. You wish to have them though tried in Tepal, is what I'm understanding.
It's a solution for a tense moment. I believe that justice could be done if you Paul and the Imperium are friendly enough to that they would honor the seriousness of what they have done to a friend.
So you do not wish to, as they say, press charges,
I do, but I
son of Ramos?
could possibly see this being happened in Imperium since Tabora is quite far, and I don't know our path will be taking us there necessarily.
Well, I mean, as far as that, if you're willing to give me a written of your own testimony, that should be able to function. No one has any reason to doubt the word of a Lord of Dromos, especially if you place your signet seal upon it. as well as for you, Monsieur Haircut, if I can get your written account of things that as they occur, we can have this handled with your written testimonies. If you are willing to add your name to this.
Hey, Capitanos, you agree with this? He looks at you, Captain. Capitanos is captain in his tongue.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, if Hakup is satisfied, then I'm satisfied.
I can produce a writ, and yes, I can add my lord's seal to it as a representation of my honest testimony. Yes, that could certainly be a solution to this problem.
And Caspian's going to make kind of a show, and he's going to dust his hands off.
All right. Then we have an accord. If I can have your testimony by tomorrow, Mister, I'm sorry, Lord Tharos, that I might be able to send that with my men as well as with the bandits. We will, of course, take them into our custody. We will have them properly restrained, and we will take care of them.
So, thank you very much for being the mediator in this situation. It is much appreciated.
Not at all, my dear. It is what I do.
I, I know my sisters look forward to the next Sundance fashion show.
Oh, tell you what, give me their names, and I will have something very special set aside for them. Especially if they are half as good looking as you are.
What would we say, Asraya?
I will have that written down, and I will have messengers sent, and we will have something set aside for them.
They are twins, so something matching.
Ooh, I like that. That would be quite interesting. Well, regardless, is there anything else that we may that may be accomplished here?
I believe my business is settled.
I must make the remark that your beauty and your nature are well known, but your kindness supersedes both by droves. I appreciate you taking such a thorough and quick nose to this matter,
Of
Madame von
course.
Schade.
One does not get to positions such as my own without being able to deal with things very quickly and efficiently. And I have quite an influence on the rest of the world. But regardless, I have much business to attend to. You may, of course, see yourselves out. We will take the men into custody. You may have a good day. And do, if you get the opportunity, stop by Madame von Chaltez état for all occasions. And we will give you a discount. With that,
I
she
will stand
stands
as she
up.
leaves.
She stands up, she turns, and without a second glance, she walks off into the headquarters. You are escorted outside. Um, and as you even walk outside, the bandits are gone, as well as the guards, seemingly already aware of everything that was being discussed. Everything has already been put into motion. Um, and you now have an iron carriage sitting in front of the HQ, along with Pogo and the familiars.
Well, as we walk out with Hakup, right? He walks out with us.
Yes.
I will say, okay, well, it seems that your carriage has been restored to you.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. I need to see about trying to get that to the inn. Um, did you see any damages or anything done to the sides of it, or anything? Any attempts to break into it at all?
From what I was able to tell, they attempted to breach whatever locks and seals you had upon it, but I didn't see any evidence that they succeeded. So the
Excellent.
damage appears superficial.
Excellent.
Though,
Excellent.
now that I've thought about it, I haven't checked the undercarriage.
He makes his way over to the carriage. He lays down on the ground and kind of looks underneath it to see if there's any damage. Which again, kind of surprising. He did not seem like the sort of guy who would get himself dirty for no
I
reason.
hurry and go lay next to him just to go look because I'm curious. I've been wanting to get inside this stupid lockbox forever. I go look. I just lie next to him. No, everything seems in order here, just to kind of see if I can get a peek if anything is gone
Kind of
before he
hunches,
covers it
but
up.
go ahead and make a perception check for me. Actually, no, make a um thieves tools check.
So what is that? That's sleight of hand, isn't it?
For that it would be Dex. You're proficient in thieves tools, correct?
Yeah, but I think it's a sleight of hand check, and you add proficiency if you're proficient in sleight of hand or something like that. I think.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, and if you're proficient in Thieves' Tool and in Sleight of Hand, you get advantage on the checks. At least that's what Xanathar says.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a 16. Actually, I'm gonna re-roll that. Let's see. 26.
Okay. As you look at this, you're able to get a look at this. It kind of flinches at you for a moment. There, something seems weird about this undercarriage. Almost as if they're. You're not sure how to describe it, but it almost looks like there's. From what you know of how carriages are built, this almost looks like there's a secondary layer or a trapping mechanism, or you're not quite sure. Something for being able to trap or carry something underneath the carriage, and you're able to see. And as you kind of glance around, you do see what looks to be a sealed panel off to the side that looks like it's meant to open, maybe to put something in, let something out. You're not sure.
Does everything seem in order though, or does that that?
There doesn't seem to be any sort of tampering or anything from what you can see. Um, but it just seems odd for a carriage to have this sort of what looks like almost like a again like almost like a trap or something underneath it, meant to catch something or something to be stored there, or you're not entirely sure.
I'll look at Haycup and go, no, everything seems in order. All the after production pieces seem to be there. It doesn't look like anything was tampered with. Just your usual one of a kind carriage.
Yes, yes. It's the my lord had it very specifically built to meet certain specifications. Everything seems to be in order. He kind of scooches back out. Right, we will get this on the way. We'll try. I'll see if I can get a few people to help me with getting this pulled back over to the inn, and we will get things on our way. Um, if you are in need of rest, I can insist on providing rooms for you, having food supplied for you for the evening as an additional part of your payment for being so very quick and efficient on this.
I thank you.
Excellent. Well, I will. I'll see about getting this moved, and yes, he kind of awkwardly turns and starts walking away to go see about paying some nearby people to help get this thing moved.
I'm going to call out Sod the Monkey God.
Okay. Your
And
familiar appears.
yep, my familiar appears, and I'm going to beckon him close, get him on my shoulder. I'm going to whisper something to him
Hmm.
and send him off.
Okay. Uh, what do you whisper to him?
Um, I whisper to him that I'm going to need you to deliver a letter soon.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm just waiting to write that letter whenever we get somewhere private or with a table.
With that, I mean, he gets you guys situated. You guys essentially have rooms now at the Traveler's Respite, for being able to, if you so wish to go and see to that. But for right now, the city is yours. Jacob have stepped away from the carriage to go see if he can get some assistance with moving it, and the city is yours for now. It is late afternoon. Um, late afternoon. The sun is essentially set, but you still have orange streaking across the sky. So very little light left. Um, some oil lamps. People are going around lighting oil lamps. The lights on at Aruja's House of Pleasure, like down to your right, are lighting up.
Yeah, I'm going to. If you would excuse me, I'll look to join you all later. There's some work that needs to be done, and I'm going to go to my room and I'm going to pen that letter as well as my sort of journal entry about this while it's still fresh. 2 copies, as per usual. One to be kept with me in my personal journal, and one to be delivered with the letter whenever the letter is delivered by Sod
Okay.
to the 50th.
So Caspian makes his way to Traveler's Respite. Theros and Sienna, you guys have the city
I go look.
as
I look
well
at
as everything
Theros.
else.
I look at Theros and ask, "Do you want to go see a dead body?" As I start walking towards the clerics at the car.
I shall procure a stick.
You,
Pogo,
you,
to the room.
right. Can you pick the sword out of the ground? I can't move it.
How many curls have you done today?
One.
You're about 49 off.
Just it. I got stuck in a tree all day. Please.
You're a cat. You can't climb down.
I'm scared of heights.
He gets up there and can't come down. He's going to. Oh yeah, the only
I
cat with a
rescued the
skeleton.
cat. I rescued the kitten.
He's just going to be the only cat ever stuck in a tree. He picks the sword up.
Like Pogo dangles there for a moment as you're holding the sword before you drop it into his onto his chest. Catches it, manages to catch himself. Says, "Thank you.
Anytime.
Okay, I'll go try and practice more." He's
Curls.
starts
Just,
walking toward.
just curls. Cross your hands. Lift. 49
Okay,
times.
he starts doing curls as he walks back towards the inn. But all right, so you have this body. You have the body of Marcus, which for the sake of convenience, you were able to wrap him in the remains of a tent or something. So you're not like dragging a full on corpse, letting its body get dragged everywhere through the city.
No, I
You have
believe I did say I had wrapped him in something. I think I wrapped him in his own tent, actually.
there we go. So wrapped up in his tent, you guys are taking him through the city. You make your way down towards the Church of Light, which is still under construction. Once again, you encounter the missionary and his family. They are lighting candles. They are actually inside the construction area, and they have like filled it with candles, which are light. And it's despite being under construction, it gives us this very ethereal like feel to it. As you step in here, there are pews set up. There is a message being preached at the moment by the missionary himself, which is primarily to his family. But also there's a few other locals who have come in and are sitting in the pews and are listening attentively. Um, but as you enter in, one young man whom he had identified as his eldest son, kind of sees you, steps over. It's like, yes, can I help you? Are you looking to join in, or
I
what are
need
you?
to purchase for a service, preferably, please.
Oh, well, what sort of service it is? If you're in need of healing, we will do that for free. Um,
Speak with
we
dead.
Oh,
I have coin, but he was involved in a murder of the people.
right. Um, about that. Um, I'm the only one who right now can do miraculous divine magic, and
I can wait.
it would be tomorrow.
Okay,
Unfortunately, that's the soonest I could do it. I would need a little bit of time
that's
to prepare. Need
that's
to
fine.
talk with my father about preparing for that. Um, He wasn't blessed with magic, but I was, so he's really. I don't know why I'm telling you that. Um, but yeah, we can have that ready for you by tomorrow. Do you?
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay. If you want, we do have an area set aside where people can bring their dead, and we can have him stored there. Should keep him cool and all that sort of stuff for tomorrow, if you'd like. Unless, well, I mean, I don't know why you'd want to keep a body with you, but if you want to keep a body with you, you can.
I have a strange feeling the things he's involved in, he might disappear before the thing is performed, if not kept an eye on.
Hmm.
He he mentioned some people that I think will have their interest in making sure the dead don't speak if caught wind of it. I'll stay.
Oh.
He can stay, but I will watch just in case.
Okay. I mean, sure, I guess. I don't think. I mean, I need to check with my dad, but I think that should be fine. We can get like a cot or something made up for you if you want to. I guess. Do you want to sleep in there with the other dead
I was
bodies?
just gonna stay. I was gonna stay awake. It's okay. It's fine.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, we'll bring you some blankets anyway, just in case. You know, we're happy to provide that. We should be able to do it tomorrow for you. Yeah.
That's
Um.
fine. Thank you.
Okay. Um. Is there anything else we can do for you guys, or?
That's it. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. And he kind of steps back aside, and after a moment, he sits for a moment. He seems to think, pulls out a book and starts flipping through it. Looks like he's trying to get a little bit of a head start. Um. But more or less, that's the situation you were in. You were going to stay at the Church of Light outside the tent where all the bodies are kept.
Well, actually, after they go to sleep, I was probably gonna go in the tent because I have a feeling the name he mentioned, that group of people that actually might have a location here in town, noting looking at the map, might come after to retrieve this body. So if they don't tell me everything, so he doesn't tell me everything that he might know, because if I know the guy, like I think I know the guy that the name he used, I'm kind of, I think they're gonna come after this dead body to make sure he doesn't tell all the secrets.
All right.
Especially with the big show in town with the Imperium and the 22 people, I'm sure they're aware that this guy died.
That something's going on, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Uh, so Saren is writing letters. Sienna, you are camping out
I
at
sent you the
the
letter, by
church.
the way.
Gotcha, gotcha. Is that on
Facebook.
Facebook? The Book of Face. There we go. Um.
So,
Um,
Theros, do you have anything you would
Noted.
like to do, or do you want to hang out and watch over the dead?
well, as much as hanging out here and talking with you for the evening, well, this would be wonderful. It has been a while since I've had a roof over my head, and I am missing some of the finer things. So, if you'd like, Pogo can hang with you.
I would actually, yes, I would appreciate Pogo. If things go south like I expect them to, I can have him go fetch you.
He is actually quite quick.
I
So,
imagine he's really good at running away, so I think this task will suit him very well.
yes, I will go retrieve him for you, and I will make sure that you have been brought a wonderful meal and drink as well. You deserve
Thank you.
a reward after a battle.
Yes,
Sienna
thank
wants to
you.
spend a night with you, Pogo. Pogo has a heart attack.
Yeah. Yeah, Pogo, have a heart attack. This is gonna be great.
All right. Theros, you make your way back to the inn. Um, do you send Pogo to? Do you arrive and then tell Pogo to Sienna's waiting for him at the church?
Yes,
Oh no, in the church.
I provide him 2 bottles of wine, a blanket, a candle, some very the 2 nice cups that I bring with me everywhere. I let him have them, trying to just kind of help him a little. no expectations, but just because he's gonna fail flat. But
He's really, really like dead silent as you do this, just staring off into space. And as you sort of like start handing these things, kind of absentmindedly takes a bottle, puts it under one arm, takes a second bottle, and as he puts it in his arm again, you hear the clattering of the bottles knocking against each other as he is just shaking.
steady, Pogo, steady.
But
You are there to be a messenger. If anything happens, you're to come get me. But she has had a long day. She deserves a fine meal. And you, as a representative of our house and Romos, will be nothing but a gentleman.
so this doesn't count.
I mean, if you get lucky.
So it does count.
No. I will explain
If I
the
get
details of what I mean later, but just go be a gentleman
okay,
and
I
remember,
can do this.
you can do this. You have it.
I can do this. It's just okay. I can do this. Beautiful woman asks me to spend tonight. What if something happens?
Then you do exactly what she tells you to do.
Okay, I think I can do that. Wait, what if she wants to do what I want her to do? What do I tell her to do?
Be creative.
Can you give me advice?
Nope. There you go. Pushes him out the door.
That's at the end. You, you look out the window. You see him starting to walk in the direction of the church. There's a brief moment where he pauses, and then he changes directions. He starts heading for the market. And then maybe about 5 minutes later, you see the biggest bush of flowers you have ever seen walking in the direction of the church. Sienna, as you are at the
Sharpening my
church,
swords.
you are sharpening your swords, your blades. You are prepared for anything approaching. Your senses are alive and wired. You hear footsteps approaching. You don't make a move at first to look around or anything, but you hear footsteps approaching the church. They are soft, and it almost sounds like someone is deliberately trying to be quiet. What do you do?
I would probably get an attack position just out of, because I think it's Eamon Lockhart's men, because that's the name he mentioned. So I think it's these skilled assassins that are gonna come, and they're coming early before they expect me to be here. So I'm like getting ready in position and getting in a fighting stance.
You leap to your feet, swords ready, a second sword ready, running through spells in your head and whatever magic you might have available to you in case you have to. As you look up, there is a just huge human-sized, what looks like a bush of flowers approaching you, crawling across the land in your direction. What do you do? You can see no humanoid figure attached to this.
So oh god, I was like, man, that's kind of and they must have got a new trainee, I guess, because he's not really doing too good.
It seems to be composed of roses and lilies and baby's breath, and then you think, wait, roses have thorns. They might have poisoned the roses. They might be trying to collide with you and poison you on the spot.
I say, man, I would probably just shout, "Is this the best he could send?" And just kind of pulled my sword and just get an active fighting stance.
You know what? Hold on. Oh, he rolled a natural 20 to be able to be heard. You hear very clearly Pogo's voice come out and said, "Is this not enough flowers?"
Pogo ducking.
Those said you wanted company.
I'm sorry,
So
Pogo. I didn't realize it was you behind all that.
it's okay. This is actually kind of helping that I can't see you.
Really? Okay.
Just a little bit. I mean,
you're really pretty, and this kind of help makes it easier for me to talk to you. But is it for you? And the entire bush just sort of falls to the ground, and you see Pogo standing there, actually wearing a very, very nice tunic that he just bought with his own personal money from Theros. He even has like a little, like one of the little corsage, like this is on his chest. There's a couple bottles of wine. There's a candelabra in one hand. He's got a fistful of candles next to it there. Under on his elbow is hanging a little picnic basket. He actually kind of looks nice.
Good job, Poco. You clean up well. I'm huh. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
showing up.
Yeah, this is the first time for me. Yeah. But don't worry, you're in charge. I was told very specifically you're in charge. I
Okay.
have a blanket too if we need it. There's also like a pile of blankets right next to you that the missionaries had given you.
Thank you, Pogo. You seem nervous, Pogo.
Like I said, this is a first for me.
You've never
I've
been around a
never
dead body before?
what? Oh
No.
God! Well, I mean, I we were doing like anatomy lessons. Yeah, I can't remember all of them. I fainted halfway through. Uh, okay. I mean, I guess I could do this if that's what you. um,
Pogo, did he tell you what you're supposed to be doing here?
he said you wanted me to stay with you all night.
And to do what?
Uh, he said, be a gentleman and do whatever you say.
If people come to try to take the dead body, and I'll point to Marcus, you were to go and get Theros so he can bring his giant weapon and stop them.
Oh, you want? Oh, I mean, it's pretty. You mean his axe? Okay. Uh,
So he can smash them before taking. Yes, Pogo.
right, right. Oh, okay. Why did he give me two bottles of wine? I feel like I was deliberately misled in this situation.
We can still have a good time and hang out and talk or whatever. But I think you're getting the wrong idea though. Your expression just changed, and I think you're getting the wrong idea again.
Oh, uh, okay. Well, I don't know. You're in charge, so whatever. You're in charge.
You don't have any experience talking to women, do you?
I have no experience. I mean, I've talked to my mom, my
You
sisters,
don't tell
and
anyone.
my
Don't tell
grandma.
anyone that. Don't tell a woman
Um,
that, especially when you're trying to. Don't do that.
I had a step cousin, but no. Uh,
Yeah, that just got weird. And I'm gonna take the bottle and open the bottle.
Wow, they're from the deep south.
yeah, in a basket there's a note to Sienna. Sorry for any confusion. I may have had a bit of fun with the kid.
As,
so,
so after he disappears from sight, I can see the large bush of flowers. He's gonna go into the main hall, uh, looking for the captain.
which yeah, I would say, judging my chat, before Haley served, yeah, Caspian, Sarah, and yeah, flat probably flags you down. It looks like from the main room. You're able to spot Theros as you were able to briefly see a bush through the open door of the inn
because again, it's summer, night's time, cool air coming in to kind of help cool down the building. Um, you're briefly able to see a bush go by the front door of the inn, and then you spot Theros upstairs coming out of his room.
Yep. So I'd go and have that little conversation in chat. I'd walk up and, so, would you call that a satisfactory adjudication for all injured parties? Also, where's Trouble? I don't see her.
She has decided to spend the night with the corpse that she had me bring back. Um, Worried someone might want to stop us from talking to him in the morning. I,
So the priest didn't pan out yet.
he has had to pray to get the right permissions. I'm not familiar with that kind of divine works. But to answer your first question, I was going to ask you the same question. I know uh, we kind of got each other's faces when it came to that, and I want to make sure that you feel that morally compensated.
Yes, I do. I wanted to make sure that whoever the local lord was interested enough in the problems of the Imperium or invested enough into the problems of the Imperium to even care that our citizens were being slaughtered like dogs. That's all.
Right.
Every citizen of the Imperium is like a brother to me. It very well could be my brother.
I understand that. I said I have a responsibility to every one of mine.
Then you must understand if we were to come across a town where 8 Leonin or Tabaxis from the Holy Kingdom of Tipal were slaughtered to the last, you would seek justice, and I would stand by your side that day too.
Absolutely. I just wanted it to be fair. That was all. Everyone, even the most vile people, deserve fair. Sometimes fair is kill you on the spot. Sometimes fair is stand before a judge.
I agree completely. Ah, why don't we share a drink?
Absolutely. But not that. That isn't good enough. And Theros will drop some coin and have a fabulous night.
High quality liquor is brought to you guys. You are very much intoxicated and inebriated by the end of the night. You suffer the poison condition until tomorrow morning.
Oh, I very drunkenly am going to come find and visit Sienna and Pogo in the night. That's my plan before bed. I want that sense of duty would overtake me, and I have to check on every one of the troops before I go to sleep, even the ones out in the field.
Um, Sienna.
Let's say this guy gets so much weirder.
um, they Pogo had after everything explained going on that this is not what he thinks it is. He's there to be a runner. He does seem to calm down somewhat. Um, but it is very much a at first it's like trying to get him to talk is almost like trying to get blood from a stone. Like his responses are very short, almost like he's too scared he's scared of annoying you with talking too much, so he says as little as possible. He's like fairly straightforward with a lot of his answers. He's very very nervous even though you have made clear what the plan is for the evening. Um he tries to even pour you a cup of wine, very very nice glasses, which you're partially worried he might have bought until you recognize, oh wait, I think that's from Theros's gear. Okay, we're good. But even as he pours you the first glass of wine, as he's starting to hand it to you, his hand shakes so much that by the time he gets it to you, it's like a third of what he poured is still in the cup. um but nevertheless, he does start to calm down. The flowers and the stuff are actually set up as a nice little, almost like a little barricade around you guys. It provides not an actual barrier, but a at least a relaxing sense of protection around it. He lights a couple candles around you guys if you are not opposed to it. and he sits there wrapped up in a blanket. Um, he relaxes as you guys are drinking, if you so choose to drink.
I'll drink a little, but not much. I want to kind of keep my head. But I would ask him questions about to Paul and the Oasis City and whatnot, just see if he's more comfortable talking about things he's familiar with.
All right. Did you want to RP that, or do you want to just gloss over that?
It's whatever. Because Sandy'd probably be a little interested, but she's probably grabbed her book, the grandmother's book, out while she's looking through it to read a little bit before. I mean, I imagine if Eamon Lockhart and his people are gonna make a move, it's not gonna be for a couple hours. So I imagine I have a little bit of time to read or something.
Um. All right. He does actually open up a little bit. He starts talking a little bit about to Paul about how he growing up with surrounded by Leonin and surrounded by Tabaxi, and he mentions how when he was younger he was a little bit confused by the fact that everyone who looked like him, everyone that was a Tabaxi was a servant, and everyone that was like someone who was in charge was a Leonin. Um, would mention how he didn't never really his father never really seemed interested in talking to him all that much. Um, you he as he starts getting drunk, he starts oversharing. He mentions that his full name means disappointment.
Who?
Um,
If I asked him, would I probably ask him who named him, or how does the
it's
naming work? And
probably it was my dad. My dad named me disappointment because I'm a Tabaxi, not a Leonin. I'm a
how are you and
Tabaxi.
Theros related? How do you and Theros know each other?
So we're related through my we're related through my dad. His it's they're second cousins if I remember correctly.
Something like that. Yeah.
So yeah, they're related through their grandfather. His grandfather was the brother to Theros's grandfather. So we're related through our grandfathers. And Theros is so cool. You know, he's just so he's huge, and he's like really smart. He's really confident, and I always feel like my dad should have had a kid like Theros. I feel like my dad, if I was more like Theros, I think my dad would like really want me around. And yeah. But my mom loves me. My mom loves me. And she always called me her little fluff ball when I was little. Um Dad didn't like that. But yeah. But he goes on and he kind of get a feel you get a sense of Tabaxi the Leonin are the proper nobles of T'Pol. Tabaxi can be born into noble families, but they're almost like secondhand citizens. You get the feel that
Yeah, yeah, they're the
considerable
serfs.
there's a definite discrimination between Tabaxi and Leonin, at least from what he describes.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like
Um,
Theros treats him that way though, because that's what I was kind of. It's like it was real. I think Sand would be really kind of shocked that's how it is because Theros doesn't treat Pogo. I mean, he plays jokes on him, like he's like a sibling, but he doesn't actually treat him like a servant, Like I've seen him try to, okay, well, did you train? Did you do this today? Did you do what you're supposed to? But it seems like from what Pogo's saying, it was like he's like a second-rate citizen almost when he's
yeah,
not with Theros. When Theros isn't there to, be like the big brother to him.
and you get that sense, but you get the obvious sense your family worked in literally in a town that was about wine and alcohol. So you get the sense that alcohol can skew the reality of things to a degree. So you take this with a grain of salt. Um, but he seems actually very happy though to be traveling with Theros. Whenever he speaks of Theros, he very much lights up considerably. You get the distinct feeling that while he never specifically says it, Theros is his hero.
Okay.
And
Saren, you drunkenly, after having drunk thoroughly, you're not immune to poison, are you? Okay,
I don't
you
think so. Well, let me
intoxicated.
check.
Uh, been a while. I want to double check. I wouldn't be surprised. But you approach. You are yourself inebriated to a degree. You can determine exactly how much that is, but you do have the poison condition, at least. But you approach and you are able to see these two of them sitting outside of this tent. There's candles, there's flowers, they're sharing bottles of wine. It sounds like they're in a very deep, very personal conversation going on. Um, the floor is yours.
To see them, I'm going to start sneaking badly because poisoned.
Go ahead and make a stealth check. Sienna, I
I
would
would
say
have
go
told
ahead.
Sir Theros that I was going to do this. I was going to check on Sienna and Pogo, and I would have asked him if he wanted to come with me, if he wanted
I
to
was
stay
I
there.
was gonna say, would Theros come with?
Why not?
Theros, please make a stealth check at disadvantage.
19.
Sienna, because you're already on alert, you may make a perception check against this.
Nope. 13, actually.
I
The
that
passive's 15.
might.
I would say that's gonna meet and beat. Yeah, no, that's meet and beat. I would say you are able to notice both of them. It takes you you notice Theros much more easily because he's freaking huge. Um, and while you don't necessarily hear Caspian, you see there's a red cloak like just next to Theros' shoulder, or the red duster jacket next to Theros' shoulder. Very well hidden except for that one little corner of a shoulder. Um, so you're aware of these. You were able to see these two kind of sneaking around nearby.
I got a 19.
You had disadvantage because you were
A
poisoned.
disadvantage.
That was a disadvantage. The other one was a 35.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm used to the other things. Where's the plus six coming from? Did you cast guidance on yourself?
1d4 is from. I'm under permanent guidance
Oh, okay.
because I see the future. But
Gotcha.
yeah,
Okay. You're able to see Theros. You see Theros sneaking up through the bushes.
Theros, I thought you were staying on with the roof over your head tonight. Everything all right?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna tap Sienna on the shoulder.
I am but the distraction.
Oh. Theros, as imagine I instantly just turn with the blade, but then I figure out it's Saren pretty quickly.
She turns and swings, and Saren just lazily moves his head to the right. My
Pogo
haircut's
has
not scheduled
instantaneous
for another
persona.
2 weeks.
Go
We
ahead.
came to make sure that you were okay and that things were going well in your field bed.
I haven't done anything. Pogo has his hands up for whatever reason. Nothing's happened. She's in charge, doing nothing, only what she tells me to do.
Telepathically, I'm going to reach out to Pogo and I'm just going to say, we are brave deep down in here. But I'm not even looking at him when I do it. I'm trying to make him think that it's him.
Make a deception check. I would say
Well,
at
he's
advantage,
trying to
but
help him.
you are poisoned, so this will be a straight roll.
25.
Yeah, he's very much. He's like, I mean, yeah, I'm keeping an eye on her. We are aware. We are staying on alert.
Outstanding work.
Yeah. Pogo gains a point of confidence.
Oh, Pogo.
Did you receive your supper? Sir Theros told me that he sent for you to have refreshments.
we have yes, we have refreshments, sir. And I ensured that we had fresh vegetables and other things that are proper for keeping people awake at night, sir.
Have you been? Where's your quarry? Is it inside here?
Yeah,
And I
it's
nod at
going
the door.
to. Yeah, right there.
I'm gonna go inside and make sure that it's still in there.
So I thought I would have been inside there
Oh,
with it.
okay.
I would have been inside
Just
with it. I
understood.
wouldn't have left. No, I wouldn't have left it outside because they could have easily come in through the back tent or the back tent flap. Because that's what I would have done. I would have, if someone was outside, I would have snuck in from the back, switched the corpse with another corpse, and took off. Like, no, I would have had Quinn sitting on top of it.
I would say it's also easy enough for you to be able to have it close to the front of the tent where you can easily like feel the pressure even through the tent. You can have part of it even open so you can keep a direct eye on this thing.
Yeah, I don't
It'd
care
be
about
easy
the other
enough for it
corpses,
to
but
keep it. Yeah, it'd be easy enough for you to be able to keep it there.
Allow me to help you with your task for the evening, Mistress Sienna.
what are you about to do? Because I need this corpse in the morning.
I pull out a book and I start casting a spell. And I start wrapping silver wire all around it.
Okay.
Yeah, easy
It's
enough.
going to be a very loud, audible alarm. It's not going to be the silent one. And then after that, I'm going to flip a few pages over and I'm going to pull out a small bead. And that bead is going to start getting bigger and bigger and bigger as I cast Lemon Tiny Hut. It smells very citrusy on the inside. But it will be see through. But it'll be comfortable inside. Nice, crisp 68 degrees. And nothing can go in or out of it. And I'm going to position it where, so it's right at the doorway. So like literally the middle of that dome is the doorway. So it goes that way and then that way. So nothing can get through that door except to us without
Okay.
knocking on a giant lemon, a giant see-through lemon.
That is easy enough to do. Yeah.
And then the final thing I'm going to say, since it's not concentration, after 20 minutes of spellcasting, we're going to say, didn't we find some weird items on what was his name?
Marcus.
Marcus Breath Stealer. Yeah.
Yes, Marcus.
Mm. I'm gonna pull out a small black pearl. I'm gonna start casting Identify on
The
items.
3 items. Yeah, I'll hand him the 3 items. The axe, the hilt, and then I think there was one
The
more
last one
thing.
was a page of correspondence.
Yeah.
Ah, we should
Which
probably
that
read
one's a
that
letter.
too.
Yeah, that's a letter.
Could you read that out loud while I do this, please, Sienna?
Sure. I'll read the letter.
All right. As you pop this open, it is first off, it's already been opened. It looks like it's already been opened, already been read. You're amazed that this thing survived the fireball, but what you read goes as followed. And I'm actually going to put the copy and paste this into the chat text. But as it reads, use whatever is needed to gain local bandits, be it gold, violence, promises of glory, etc. The injection should be more than enough to gain their favor and use the withdrawal effects to keep them in line. You may accumulate whatever wealth you desire using the bandits, but capture the iron carriage with the following emblem. Do not open it. Merely wait, and the interloper should appear. Kill it, and bring me the body. The children are yet of use to me, however, the woman is not. Keep her or dispose of her, but the boy and the girl are mine. Additional compensation will be provided for unseen difficulties, up to and including further treatments if you find your modifications satisfactory. My hopes is for this to be the beginning of a fruitful relationship. I look forward to hearing from you. Sincerely, L.
The only L I know is Lacatus, but that's not him. Um, anyone you're aware of? You're the closest to a local that we have.
Can I make a, what would that be, a history check?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna spend a fate point and do that again. So let's see. 8.
No one of note that you can think of besides names that you are already aware of, such as your former mentor Lockhart, and you think
Oh,
a woman was named Liana, but you can't think of anyone else beyond those names which have already been mentioned in the story.
yeah. Could be Liana or Lockhart, but I mean, I can't think of anyone at the moment.
It seems like whatever this is, we're merely at the beginning, or perhaps at some sort of crossroads before we begin a path. Though, like many crossroads, choosing which path to take might require more sober thoughts.
Your stomach is turning to churn a little. You forgot to eat bread.
Whoever this is, though, has two kids involved, though. They wanted a boy and a girl.
Hmm. Hmm. Do you think we should question one of these bandits before they get sent on their way about that? Or, I don't know. What do you think, Theros?
I do believe that it would be wise for. Yes, we should talk to them. Before they go, but if all is well here, I do hear an actual bed calling.
We could also ask Marcus in the morning with the spell.
I have to stay here for the hut to stay here, but Sienna, if you'd like to go to your bed, it's yours.
No, I'm staying here just in case the Lockhart shows up or
Ah,
someone
well
with
then,
him.
you're more than welcome to spend the night with me here.
I'm not leaving the corpse.
Uh,
Pogo is asleep.
But, have you heard of the name Lockhart before, Saren?
No, it doesn't ring a bell to me.
He's a very capable and thief, rogue, whatever that in that type of field. He's one of the best, and the company and group he works for, Marcus named, and they might be interested in making sure Marcus doesn't say anything.
Sounds like you have some sort of personal ties to this Heart Locker.
Lockhart, a little. I used to work for him briefly before I
Sweet
figured
man
out.
with a criminal history. Who would have seen that coming?
I didn't know it was that bad in what they were doing. And then when I did, I left, and I didn't leave on good terms because they don't like it when you leave. So, knowing that I'm involved, they might come after, especially now. And then the parade of the 22 bandits through town. I mean, if he knows Lockhart, then and with their one of their headquarters in town here, I'm sure they won't have problems sending someone. Also,
That's fine. I always say the best way to make your way past a trap is to set it off.
how far into my brain did you look when you did the thing early before with the dragons?
What makes you think I could look into a brain? That's nonsense.
Do you or do you not know about my heritage?
I'm going to look left, I'm going to look right, and I'm going to say, the scroll that I used imbued me with 24 hours of your memories and all of your conversations for that 24 hours.
So you're
Down
aware.
to and including the too much pepper on your breakfast.
So you're aware. I think Madame von Sade is also what I am, given the hair color resemblance and innate crowd control.
Is that something that you do?
No, but people have different affinities from what I've been understanding. But
Do you have an innate connection to others of your, and he sort of looks you up and down, persuasion?
I don't know. I've never met one actually, besides my mother who doesn't practice. But given the hair color, and only our kind are associated with that hair color, hence the name, I'm kind of thinking she is one. And if her and Lockhart or whoever are working together, there might be some problems with your men you're wanting justice for possibly disappearing coincidentally in a dangerous and terrible accident on the way to the Imperium, because
That's
it'd be
been
less
taken
cost
care of.
effective. Okay, because it'd probably be less cost effective just to kill them on the way and an attack by an owlbear than it would be to actually get them all the way to the Imperium.
There's an explosion on the other side of the city. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
But yeah, he's going to say that's been taken care of. I do have an innate connection with others of my persuasion, it seems. And Marcus somehow found himself in possession of abilities that are unnatural.
He seemed to know a lot more, but I don't think he was going to talk without dying first, though. Actually, he did say as much, actually, if I recall. He did say, I'm not going to tell you anything. So you.
I have ways of making people tell me what I want. But whatever it was, I acquired my abilities by having a giant rock stabbed into my face, and he noticeably did not.
Yep, he doesn't have a rock in his face.
I have a giant rock stuck in my head that shows me the future all the time. He does not, and that does not seem fair.
Is this something that, I mean, I guess you wouldn't know you have a giant rock shoved in your head, but I guess, is this something that's learned?
I've never met anyone else in the world who can do the sorts of things that I can do, the way that I do them, besides Marcus, the Breath Stealer. And just for a touch of the dramatic, I'm going to sort of flick my finger. I'm going to use my elemental affinity, and I'm going to take the breath out of Sienna's mouth. So just move the air.
Oh, because he can do the same. Okay.
You feel that little brief little like puff coming out of your mouth. Sienna, go ahead and make a history check again for me.
19.
19. With the way Saren has continuously been saying the breath stealer. Holy shit, you know Marcus.
Oh, fuck.
You no. You recall you've heard of Marcus. Marcus, who was Marcus the breath stealer. Marcus the agent of Rouge, who was most well known for suffocating his victims.
Oh, yeah, no, Rouge is definitely showing up now.
Most
He's really important. They're showing up.
most specifically, you recall him being mentioned by your by Lockhart, by your mentor, as a very uncultured man, as a man who lacked finesse, lacked sophistication. From what you understood, Marcus would um, seduce potential victims, and then when they were sleeping, would suffocate them, which was very unrouge like. It lacked finesse. It lacked artisma. It lacked any sort of elegance or art. That's not how Rouge operates. And you don't know why it took you this long to realize, because it was always a huge complaint issue about Marcus, that he had no artistic talent when it came to Rouge's true profession.
Yeah, that makes. So, what you said kind of rang about. I think the people that I used to be affiliated with are definitely going to probably be interested in making sure Marcus doesn't say anything, because I think he might know a lot more than we know. if he was as renowned as the rumors are. Have you heard of the Company Rouge before?
DM?
I honestly, yeah, it's Rouge is has been making a lot of headway into the Imperium as far as a place of theatrical performances. But being a soldier, you also know that they have plenty of houses of uh, humanoid pleasure.
Oh no, Saren's gonna get the wrong idea.
Having various places where people go for a burlesque show. Some of them are it's a wide range of entertainment. It can be as complicated as a proper theater and actorial performances to something as base as pick your pick your guy or pick your gal and go have fun for about 30 minutes. You're on the clock. Go.
Well, then I think that's going to require a more sober mind for me to do that. I'm going to use the first half of this feat I just posted up, Metabolic Control, where I decrease my psionic dice by one side, and it is if I had consumed sufficient air, food, and water for a day, which I think should sober me up.
It'll sober you. You got a little bit of a buzz in the background, but you are definitely considerably sober. I would say you are sobered up. You got a buzz, but you're sober. You do no longer suffer the poison condition.
And that the crystal, the yellow crystal, is just going to flash briefly whenever that happens.
Eros,
And he
you're
sort of stands up. You see the flush drain from his cheeks. He brushes his shoulders off and he says, "Well, let's be thorough in our duties then. I can't leave this hut without it disappearing. Um, let's keep a good watch."
So you've heard of Rouge then?
a
Yes.
little bit of a nod.
Are you aware of their extracurricular activities?
I'm going to be quite honest with you. It sounds like you're talking about their sex girls.
I was talking about their murdering, but there's that.
That too, yes.
They're secretly not, well, I mean, not really secretly. They are very much a theater company, but they also have a affiliate for artistic murder for the right price.
You have never heard this part of Rouge at all.
Of course.
Marcus was very high up in that organization, as is Eamon Lockhart. And given there's a Rouge building right next to Madame von Chadet's place in town in West City, I imagine it wouldn't be too hard for them to try and come retrieve this body, knowing that I imagine they keep tabs on their people and their missions.
Well, and then I'm going to stop talking and start continuing because Sir Theros is asleep. I'm going to continue this conversation telepathically. And mid sentence, I'm going to say, well, and then telepathically continue. Um, didn't trust a thing that Von Schade had offered. It was the exact sort of thing that I was against and afraid of in the beginning. So I've taken measures into my own claws to supervise the transfer of these prisoners secretly.
Telepath, because I'm also telepathic. Well,
But do you use your telepathy or do you
I use
use my
mine. I don't
return
use yours.
telepathy?
I use
I
mine.
I do
Yours is
want to
returned
read this.
empty.
I do want to read this because it's so freaking adorable. You both look down, and Theros is cold around Pogo, and is also asleep. And at this point, they're
Oh,
very thoroughly into the whole position where give it your warm body. We're snuggling.
Kitty cat yin and yang.
Mm-hmm.
it's so cute.
Definitely looks like Papa Kitty with Baby Kitty,
It's cute.
which I think is freaking adorable. Okay,
Focus.
you may carry on.
Focus.
Sorry.
Focus, Sienna.
Oh, I just want to rub their belly. Okay, focus. All right, right. Murder.
At
Hold
least your
on.
cat's not in the middle.
That, yeah, that's fair.
Sir Theros doesn't
Where,
snore; he
where is your
purrs.
cat?
right, focus. I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna get lost with the cute and the cuddly and the fuzzy. Okay. So telepathically with my own telepathy. I didn't realize Madame von Jede had red hair. But from what I've read in my grandmother's diary, only red witches have red hair, and she has red hair, which means that she's got some sort of connection, or she dyes it. But I don't think she's like that person. But I very much think that if you didn't have your people watch them, that they would mysteriously disappear on the way, or be handed over to whoever they were supposed to be anyway. She seems more focused on influence and money than actual governing, which is very much how the freelance work anyway. But
Like most of the merchant lords, yes.
she definitely might be in on it.
I miss the place where you could tread your feet carefully and know that those in charge of you had the greatest respect for the rights of every individual. But unfortunately, I'm here instead. So,
For a brief moment, there was like a patriotic like flag in the background behind Saren, and then
if you require sleep, I'm well rested. I'll keep watch. No harm will come to you, or this corpse won't be corpseified deader if you need to sleep.
I'm okay. I'm just curious on what Marcus. So the kids, what do you think the kids were in that box? Were there kids in that box or something? There was a trap door on the bottom of the carriage. A aftermarket production of the carriage. I'm very familiar. I'm very aware
It's
of how
quite
those are
odd.
built.
I had no idea. I pulled that out of thin air.
But there was an aftermark. There's a trap door, almost like a mechanism that can be released and opened, like as if something opens out or gets let out from the whatever's in there.
Mm. How talented are you at espionage? Perhaps while I stay here, you should go check out that carriage.
You want me to break into the very object we had in our possession the entire time, unwatched? This would have been a lot easier before we killed Marcus, because then we could have just said, "Here, I'm very skilled at breaking and entering and things. I can help you. I'm from Rouge. Let me help you." And then we could have killed him after he did an evil monologue about while I was breaking into the carriage. Now you want me to go in past the Imperials' sentries they probably have out against,
There's only
because
two.
unless there's more, because this
Sure.
carriage was already taken once.
He said he only has two people.
You want me to break in there?
No, not at all. But if you want to find out what's inside your secret trap door, if that itch of wanting to know is just niggling in the back of your mind, I could stay here and take this job over.
If I get
While you
caught
go off and do
badly.
whatever it is. Probably. I wouldn't get caught.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for the compliment.
Look, if that's what you choose to do, then I would highly suggest that you watch and count your steps. And on step number 34, with your left foot, step short. And I'm going to cast one of my divination spells on her.
All right, what do you hit her with? Quinn has
Is
also
it this one?
joined
Here it
the
is.
cat pile.
Oh, Quinn.
You see this multicolored little bundle of fur, like in the space right between Pogo and Theros. And there's a gentle purring. Oh, there we go.
Future Insight. It lets you add
Stuff
dice.
to the things. 3d4 or 1d12, your choice. Record the result. Which one are you rolling?
I'm just getting to that button. 1 second.
All right.
34 for 9. Ignore
There we
the
go.
7.
All right, so you got a score of 9 to be able to add to one of your checks within the next, looks like the 10 minutes. Next 10 minutes. All right.
That is correct.
You're quiet.
Mike's not on.
How about
There
now?
you
It's
go.
on now.
There we go. And I'm saying, and then I'm going to actively start being on watch.
Okay.
This thing could be magically trapped, you know.
Good thing you got a +9 to stuff.
I would magically trap this thing with arcane runes and have it explode and make a big giant sound if someone tried to break in.
I mean, that's exactly what I did with this corpse. So you're right. It's up to you. You make your choices.
No, you don't understand. I really want to do it, but I feel like this is a really big trap.
Well, the best way around a trap is to set it off, in my opinion.
What if I get caught?
Run fast. Or, even better, don't. Don't get caught.
I'm very, very clumsy. That is a very bad. What if Rouge shows up to break in to the box before I get there? What if they're there breaking in and went, oh god, this is gonna go so downhill so very fast.
Well, then, and I'm going to glimpse the future.
All right.
Let me hit
So
the
you got
button
a
for
choice
that one.
from for season action, sees their own death. They see a future victory.
Number 2, what's that one?
Number 2, target sees their own death. If they are reduced to 0 hit points as a result of being hit by an attack, they can force that attack reroll and subtract a d8, potentially missing. If they are reduced to 0 hit points as a result of failing a saving throw, they can reroll the same, adding the d8.
That's the best one.
That is a really good one. Okay,
Yep.
I guess I'm going to break into the box that we said we weren't going to break into. Well, okay, I never promised I wouldn't break into it. I really wanted to break into it. I just would have done it when I had the help of a second
I mean, that'll definitely
magic.
help you against the disintegration trap. I mean, it's totally not
Yeah,
trapped.
that's what I would do. I'm just thinking, like, man, if I had all the money of a marquee to trap this box, I would definitely use disintegrate, or some type of spell, or something, or some terribly mythical creature on the inside. And then they
Make
use
wise
the
choices.
letter. The letter used the word interloper, so I'm very worried that there is a actual death-eating monster in there or something.
Well, that letter was to Marcus, not to.
So yeah, to clarify, that it doesn't have a 2, but it is 2. It is meant to be to Marcus. So this is written from L, whoever L is, to Marcus.
And
So
wants
he is.
the two kids, the boy and the girl, doesn't care what you do with the woman.
Mhm.
But if you have the carriage, the interloper will show up.
Do you think that's you? Are you the interloper?
Yeah, there's a pretty good
And
guess
then
for
he
that.
leans
Yeah.
in and he's going to say, "You are. You do have a habit of interloping."
Okay, so who's the boy and the girl then?
I suggest you go find out. You've got 9.5 minutes.
Oh crap! Start. I guess I go break it. I'm gonna try go breaking this box in so badly.
As you walk by, Pogo and Theros have somehow repositioned, and Pogo's in a weird position. It does that whole thing that kittens do, where they're somehow in a position that looks like their spines have somehow been broken, but they're still perfectly fine.
Scritch the
I
bellies
feel
of the
like
cats
Theros
on
and
the way
Pogo
out.
have a very like we're bros, no homo relationship.
You wouldn't
We're
understand.
cousins.
It's a cat thing.
Yeah, it's a cat thing.
And then I'm just going to go to perception. I'm going to go to keeping watch, and I got a 34 for my perception check.
Noted. All right. Sienna, on your own again. As you leave, you guys are all the way over here. You make your way back to the Traveler's Respite. There is a stable, and it does appear they have managed to be able to bring this carriage into the stables. There aren't any horses or any animals presently in here, but it is this massive black space dominating object. Um, roll stealth, perfect.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh god.
as you approach, you don't see any guards in sight. There's no one in the immediate area that you are aware of that you can see. So you're able to get into these stables fairly easily. And this giant black carriage lies before you. You're able to see a seal on the side of it, and the carriage as a whole is there.
Can I make a thorough check to see if there's any arcane runes or symbols or silver wire, like because I can do that too for my ritual book. Make sure there's not a silver thread of alarm spell around this thing before I
Go ahead
get
and give
too
me
close.
an investigation check. This is you taking time, going over, not touching it
Uh,
necessarily, looking
11.
it over, checking for things. Um, Unfortunately, it's dark,
Yeah, it
and
looks good.
this is a dark black metal.
Yep, looks good to
Um,
me.
if there is any runing on it, you're fairly confident there's no runage on this. There's no way this thing has any sort of rune markings on it, and it'd be insanely difficult to do that to iron. I mean, that'd be a whole lot of work. Then at which point this carriage would be in and of itself a fortune. Just
Almost
having this
worth
carriage.
paying adventurers to go and take it back.
Yeah, but
Worth that much?
who would pay 3,700 gold to have that happen?
A marquee with that much money to spend on. Oh. So whenever we
Uh,
looked at it last time to see if it was broken in, we checked the back, which is what we
uh,
assumed
there
the
was a
normal
backside, yes.
entrance was.
There is a backside, which there are two doors to that. There is a very complex looking lock mechanism on it, and you are aware that there is a trapping or a panel on the underside. You don't know necessarily where that leads or what that connects to, but based on the dimensions of this carriage, it looks like there's some sort of trap space underneath this carriage.
I think it might be easier to break in that way because I feel like they're hoping that that thing won't be noticed as much as the back entrance. I almost feel like the back with the special lock is a red herring. That's gonna be the most trap versus the floor is gonna be the no one's gonna suspect to look under this thing and look at the under. Who's gonna be on the underside of a carriage on the ground in the dirt? They're gonna try to brute force their way in through the back. So I'm gonna try to crawl into the carriage and do it that way, and we'll see what happens. I guess.
Okay. As you get on the underside of this, laying down on your back, getting underneath this thing, looking up at this, there is, as you were able to find that panel very easily. As a note, it is dark in here. You do not have dark vision, correct?
No, I have my moon blade, but I don't know if I want to pull it out. Just actually, I might pull it out a little bit just so I can see. But my moon blade actually glows, so
Okay, so do you pull it out to create light, or do you try to work this in the dark? Because if you're
I'm
working
gonna
this in the
pull it out
dark,
to create light. I can't see,
okay,
but I'm gonna hoping to pull it or angle it out a way to where it's not gonna look like it's obviously shining out from underneath the carriage, like the big obvious flashlight. I'm hoping to angle it enough to where I can see, but not draw too much attention if someone walks by.
go ahead and give me another stealth check. This is for you being able to like position it, kind of cover it up too with some of the hay and dirt nearby to kind of focus the light here.
12.
Okay, noted. So you now have this source of light. You've gotten it laid down next to you to kind of emit some light upwards while you kind of got it a little bit sheltered. It's not as much as you'd like, but it's doable for right now. You're able to see this flat sort of black panel there in front of you. It does appear to be it's not sealed. It's not like someone's gone through and they've sealed it to the metal itself. You might be able to work it open. Yes, right there. There are some screws around here. So you might be able to use your tools to be able to undo this. Now keep in
Okay.
mind this panel is probably about yay wide and yay wide. It's not a huge panel.
Okay. I'm gonna try to open it. How much noise
Okay.
is it gonna make? I mean, I guess I don't know until I open it, but I imagine I'd have to kind of once it comes off to kind of hold it so it doesn't clatter to the floor.
Go ahead and give me a thieves tool check. Which sleight of hand.
27.
Huzzah.
As nervous as you feel, your muscle memory rescues you. This is child's play for you. As you very seamlessly begin to get to work, the bolts are a little bit tight, so you kind of take out a secondary tool to kind of help loosen that up, and you're able to undo the screws each very carefully, very gently, and then you're able to, as you undo the last one, you have your hand right there. You very carefully reposition your hands, lower it down, and kind of awkwardly set it off to the side. You don't even allow the screws to fall out of this panel. You have only allowed it to be able to undo. I also now need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's gonna be so bad. 24.
You are expecting something. So as you feel this sort of slide and this shift, as soon as you see it get away, you don't necessarily gently set this aside. You twist your whole body and you hear something wet hit the ground where your head just was. And you gag a little. You smell something repugnant.
Oh.
As you look down and the ground is wet and it smells like bio waste. It smells like piss. It smells like fecal matter. It smells like a humanoid waste product.
There's people in here.
Did you just unscrew the toilet?
I think so. But there's
More
people in
more
here.
is coming out. More is sliding and coming out too
Oh
as you're
God,
kind
this
of
is gonna be
playing
so
there.
gross, but I feel like this is the easiest way in, but this is gonna be so gross.
The hole that you have opened up is about yay big. You do not get the feeling that you would be able to fit through here.
No. But there's people in here. I'm telepathic to Quinn within a couple miles, right?
Oh yeah, you're easily in range. He's also your familiar. You can just summon him.
I'm gonna tell Quinn to wake up and tell Saren that there's actual people in here. Prop. To shout across the. Can I see up the chute to as line of sight to anything?
You kind of awkwardly move the light. You're just trying to keep your distance a little bit because it's slowed down, but there's still a little bit of stuff coming out, sliding out through the bottom of this panel. But as you kind of move it through, it goes straight up and it hits an underside, very disgusting looking underside. And you have a distinct feeling that this is probably slanted. And you realize that this bottom trap is slanted. Everything is meant to slide down towards this exit, and there is probably a secondary entrance further up along the bottom of this carriage.
I'm gonna go try to find
That
that.
is where everything is put into.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to find that.
I mean, you can travel up along it, but there's no pattern. There's no paneling there. You have the feeling that this is the proper exit. This panel is meant to be pulled off so this can be cleaned out.
Okay.
And that
I'm
there
gonna
is
put
likely
the panel back before I try to actually break in. Then.
Okay. You kind of give it a little bit of sec, and then you very carefully put this panel back situated. You can't do anything about what's already fallen out on the floor. You kind of scrape some hay over it just to hope that kind of absorbs.
There's horses, I guess. Maybe.
Yeah. It now though very much smells like a bathroom. You have definitely managed to avoid getting that all over your face.
Can I prestidigitation it away?
You can, yeah. You should be able
I
to.
will.
Do you have?
Quite.
I didn't
I
know.
do.
It's been a while. I don't know all your guys' spells.
I have minor illusion. No, I do not. I
minor
will
illusion.
cover.
The minor illusion can create sense. You minor illusion a scent of some sort of floral scent to cover
Until
it
I
up.
leave. Yeah, once they leave
Yeah.
in the morning, I'll cover it up and fix it later. But it's fine.
Hay goes a long ways towards being able to absorb that kind of stuff and make that stuff a little bit more manageable. But yeah, you are able to get that panel back into place. You already knew how to pull it off. What's the plan?
Can I look around to see if there's another way in? Maybe from the top?
What was your investigation? 11. Go and give me another
11.
investigation check for me.
18.
18. As you look around on the side of this, you are now able to notice possibly one of the reasons why this thing is so darkly they use such a dark metal, and then on top of it, you realize this has actually also been painted black, incredibly dark. You are able to notice that there are slits in the side that are immediately covered up with a panel on the inside, but you have a feeling that that is meant to be ventilation for them to be able to come in. If you get sort of like a like you have the bars, and then immediately behind the bars is another plate metal, another metal plate that has been screwed into it, so that air can travel in, but light does not.
How big are these? So they're not slipped. They're just air holes. They're not
They're
big enough
pretty
to get
good.
in.
They're pretty good. They look like they would be roughly about the size of a window. With the darker paint, it's very difficult to notice in the first place, and with the secondary panel on the inside, it would be difficult to be able to see inside. There's no specific bolting you can see, uh, but you could possibly get if you get a good enough angle and if you get enough light, you might be able to see inside. There is, of course, also the main back door, and as far as on the roof, you do not see anything on the roof of this.
Okay. Then I'm going to ask Quinn if he has talked to Saren yet and told Saren what's going on.
Mr. Caspian, her ladyship would like me to tell you that she thinks there's people in the box.
Audio's not on.
Thank you.
Okay. He says thank you.
And I'm gonna snap my fingers and summon Quinn. All right, Quinn, we got work to do.
I'm gonna wake up Theros at that.
Just like old times, buddy. And I'm gonna kind of look to get an angle inside the box, and I'm gonna summon Quinn in the box.
Miss Belfort, I've only had 16 hours of sleep today. I'm very good. Go and give me a perception check. This is you just trying to get a good angle to be able to find a good space on the inside.
17.
Easy enough. You kind of have to press your face against it. You're able to follow it along. You bring your light source up alongside it. You kind of try to angle it to try and get some light inside here, as just to see anything, any sort of spot. And you're fairly certain that you see a shelf or maybe something inside. And you take the moment, you take the risk, and you send your familiar in. As Quinn vanishes, and you hear a thunk
I'm
from
going to use
inside the
I'm gonna use his eyes, and then I'm gonna use his eyes to misty step into the carriage.
Okay. Do you want to see what's
Use
inside the carriage first, or?
I don't feel like the cat can handle it by himself either way. I feel like if this is a monster, I feel like the odds are better if I fight the monster. He is a
Okay.
cat.
6 seconds later, you borrow your familiar senses. Find a spot on the floor, and you misty step yourself into this carriage. Theros, Caspian wakes you up in the middle of your snuggle pile with Pogo. You swear there was a third party who was participating in this, but no, it's just you and Pogo.
Miss Trouble has wandered into the night and magically summoned her cat. After it told me that she says there's people inside of the carriage.
The Kyria trouble. Do you want me to go?
Hair of the dog, and I'm going to sort of hand him one of the bottles that Pogo had. That may or may not be empty.
Yes, fast.
It helps a little bit. Saren's words suddenly start finally reaching the nerves inside your brain. There's people in the carriage. Sienna went to go get to the carriage. She brought her cat with her.
Carrie CNS. Yes, yes. Do you want people in the? Hmm.
Your choice whether or not you want to act on that information, but it's been shared.
Well,
or if you want to roll back over and go to sleep. Honestly, either way, I'm here for the night, keeping watch.
All right. I'll go be in the area. She needs help. Not
So you're
doing
gonna hang
anything.
out, or
Um,
you're just gonna hang out?
he's gonna make his way towards the barn, where the carriage would be stored. Kind of just gonna check things out from the outside. Not really.
Takes you a second to disentangle yourself from Pogo. Strangely, when Pogo is asleep, he has a very strong grip. Um, Wish you could actually see that in his swordsmanship. But you get up, stumble out between the alcohol and the sort of fogginess that comes from being woken up in the middle of a nap. You make your way towards the barn. Um, I'd say Sienna, you'd be able to hear really easily Theros' approach. Or at least the approach of what sounds like a very, very large drunk man, who you could probably guess is Theros. You haven't really seen anyone quite as big as him in this village yet.
That's fair.
Well, Theros would be aware that this is a sensitive thing, so he's gonna try and be quiet.
Okay. All right. I will keep that in mind. Go ahead and make that steel check. Okay, so that's gonna be a 12. Noted.
Yep. He's gonna try.
Tien.
Hearing Theros would probably just knock him if I can, if I have time, depending on what's going on in here, just to let him know that I'm in here and I'm still alive currently.
You get inside, you're aware of this, you kind of knock on the side of the carriage briefly before you turn and unlock flavor text.
God.
As you sort of rotate towards you have managed to teleport towards the front of this carriage. You are basically on the inside, just inside of where the door of this carriage is. And as you look, you see three people towards the back of this carriage. Two women, one seemingly younger, probably a teenage girl, and a young man. From their ears and appearance, you can tell immediately that these are elves. Tan skinned and dark blonde hair, wearing simple clothes. The younger woman and the younger man lay on the floor, the man on his back with his hands resting over his stomach, and the younger woman resting her head on the thigh of the second, seemingly more older, more mature woman. The older woman sits, her legs crossed, her back erect. You'd actually say she's sitting proudly. And there are two markings that you are able to make out on her face, tattoos that are above her closed eyes, each of her hands resting on the heads of the other two elves. And there's a protective maternal sense to how she sits next to them. They all appear asleep, save for the older woman's whose ears twitch and eyes shift beneath her lids as you teleport in and you begin to make noise. And you have made your way inside the iron carriage and discovered its cargo.
And Sylvan, because I know Sylvan, I don't know Elvish. I will speak in Sylvan to see if she can understand me. Say, shh, just, I'm not here to harm you. I noticed that you were here, and I wanted to check on you all. Are they all right, or have you eaten?
As you say this, her eyes are closed, and as you begin to speak, Sylvan, her ears again twitch, but there doesn't seem to be any other response to your speech. Go ahead and make a medicine check for me.
I wonder if they're knocked out.
Yeah, it might be drugged.
16?
As you take a moment, you kind of get closer, you look at them a little bit. They, you'd almost arguably say that they are asleep. Um, but from what stories you've heard of elves, elves do not sleep.
Can I try to, or tap her on the shoulder?
You tap her on the shoulder, and once again, there's that sort of twitching in her eyes, twitching in her ears. Um, you feel like she's aware of you, but
I'm gonna try telepathically speaking to her. because she can respond telepathically
Okay.
to me. We just have to. She just has to speak a language, and doesn't have to be the same language, and we can speak. So I'm gonna try telepathically, see if she can talk to me that way.
Okay. What do you say to her?
I'm gonna say I, me and my friends discovered that you and I'm assuming your children are here. I wanted to see if you're all right. If you need help, I can help.
And as you sort of speak this, there's a strangeness to it. This feels her thoughts feel like they're coming from a great distance. And they are slow in reaching you, almost not in the sense that you feel like there's something wrong, but almost as if there's she is far, like as if her mind is far away from where you are, as the thought and the sentence comes to you. Who is the beautiful friend to you?
Can I make a check to see if I've ever heard of that? I mean, I've never met elves before, have I? Like this is.
You know of elves, but elves are some of the are the most isolationist culture in the world. They very rarely ever leave their lands. The fact that you are have see three in front of you and two of them seem to be youths is you've never heard of anyone ever meeting an elven youths ever. But I mean, as far as a history check in regards to that, I will tell you right now, you do not.
Yeah. Does this seem like a code? Like she's looking for a certain answer?
Um, what's your passive insight?
Insight?
Yeah,
12.
12.
10 plus 2. Yeah, 12.
I would say, given your insight and your own history with an organization such as Rouge, it does sound almost like a code, like she's expecting a code word, a code response.
Is this thieves' cant for anything that I'm aware of?
Not that you're aware of. You have a
Okay.
feeling that there might be a very specific response that she is looking for.
Well, I guess getting lucky is kind of my thing. I'm gonna start rummaging around the room looking for something, and I'm gonna use some fate points to see if I can like stumble upon a code word or something.
Okay. Are you using your chaos theory?
Yeah, yeah, I'm using chaos days. I'm kind of just like, well, okay, and I'm just start rummaging through, looking up. Well, crap.
Okay. As you make this thought, you start rummaging through. You see these threads of possibility beginning to appear to you. Um, you are just looking amongst these threads, looking at this connection to items in here. Something to give you some sort of clue. You know that the easiest you need to find that golden thread, and you find it, that floating there in the air. And as you pluck it, as you pull on it, it's leading outside.
Oh God, I don't know how to get outside. I'm stuck in here.
You kind of tug on it, but it won't give way quite yet. You feel like you might need to be in a specific position to pull this thread all the way.
Okay, I'm gonna try to see if I can find a way to get in position and maybe unlock the door from the inside. If I can, no, probably not, because I'd be able to get out.
Do you look at the door?
I do.
The door, knowing enough about mechanisms and locks and things, the door appears to be openable from the inside.
Oh, that's wow.
Suddenly occurs to you, you took a brief look at this lock during your investigation. This lock is very thorough from the outside. Internally, this looks like it'd be child's play to open from the inside.
I'm gonna
Like
open it.
literally, you twist here, here, and here, and you can open the door.
I'm gonna open it. I'm just gonna wait. What am I doing? Of course, and just open it.
You open the door, you pop out the back side, you follow that string, that golden thread, and as it turn around the corner, that thread leads to that crest on the outside of the carriage that no one has asked at all what the crest
Oh
is of.
God. I'm gonna look at it and just go, oh yeah, that thing.
The crest on the outside appears to be looks like seven. It's embedded and kind of raised a little bit in the side of the carriage, but it is seven holly leaves that are wrapped together into a sheath. As she goes off to the side, Theros, you have heard this knocking coming from inside the stable. That's the word I'm looking for. Do you remain outside? Do you hop inside to go see what's going on?
I'll go in and check it out.
Okay. As you kind of step inside, you in this moment see Sienna opening the door of this carriage from the backside, stepping around, coming around, and looking at this crest on the outside of the carriage. Very thoroughly looking closely at it, light illuminating it. And get a very nice clean look at this crest, these seven holly leaves that are wrapped together in a sheath.
And I can see the occupants of the carriage because the door's wide open.
You would have to go up to the door to be able to look inside and see them, but you're able to see them if you walk over to where the door is.
Yeah, so as soon as I see Sienna come out of the carriage, which um gonna he's gonna it's that moment where you're drunk, you're kind of happy, you turn a corner and go, oh, and you kind of that insta sober, and
There's
Yep.
people in there's oh
I
just
will say
looking.
I
There's
will say for
people
the
in there.
say I will say for the simplicity of things, you do sober up. You're no longer in the poison condition. Your adrenaline is pumping through you and is canceling out the poison effect of alcohol.
um
There's
Um,
three elves inside, a mother and her children. There she's looking for a code, and I think fate is telling me the code is this. And I look at the symbol. Any ideas?
Stress is just gonna shut the barn doors. And
but the doors are in darkness, save for that sickle that Sienna has.
And my
You
little
look at
moon blade.
Yep. There's the crest on the side of the carriage. Would you like to make a check?
sure.
Give me a history check, if you would, at advantage, because you are a noble. 24. You are, because you are, of course, a noble, you are familiar with courts of various different nations. You are very familiar, too, as well, with this crest. This is the crest of a marquis from the southern province, the province that is closest to Tupal, a province in the Imperium that is closest to Tupal. This is specifically the crest of House Vel Ibrath.
Hmm.
And John pieces everything together. Which you also know with a 24 is the only noble house in the entire Imperium that is led by an elf.
Oh.
Sienna, this is the crest of Asfalibros, the southern province closest to Topol. Um, it's the only house in the Imperium to be led by an elf.
Well, said house has two elves in a locked box with kids and probably their mother. But the box is openable from the inside, so I think it might be by choice or for safety reasons. But the letter, oh, you were asleep. There was a letter talking about how Marcus was to take those children. Didn't care what you did with the mom, but the children were important.
Hmm. Seems like a game of houses to me.
Sienna, you would also know because Elven is rooted in Sylvan. The term Vel Ebroth is very, very close to a couple Elven terms, which translate either as Green River or as Beautiful Friend. And her question was, who is the beautiful friend to you? I love watching you guys think.
Did they look like they were taken care of decently besides being locked in here? Like, I mean, if it was openable from the inside, they could have left at any point, it seems like.
From your medicine check, and especially since you went clambering through that place looking for some sort of chaos theory thread to be able to guide you to an answer, there was not necessarily ample food, but there was what probably once had ample food. The door could be opened from the inside. There were manacles that you found inside, but they were not on them at all. In fact, you found a set of keys in there that looked like they probably would have matched to the manacles. There were marks on their wrists and their ankles for probably what were once chains bound to them. And as you think about it, um, I'll go ahead and give this one to you. You, because you've made plenty of checks on this already. You are aware that elves. You have heard of elves. They do not sleep, but they go into trances, typically to be able to rest. But trances still function in similar fashion to sleep in the sense that the metabolic rate of the body slows. She's slow in response. Her thoughts seem slower. If they were delayed, you recall the carriage was meant to be here 2 weeks ago. If they were delayed by 2 weeks, they may have gone into a deep trance to slow their bodily functions down so
So
that they
they didn't
wouldn't
get hurt.
starve or
Okay.
dehydrate. Yeah.
Okay.
The obvious counterpart is she's very slow in response.
Okay. I'm gonna ask Theros then to grab some food and water for them. I don't think they've eaten in 2 weeks.
Right, right.
And I will go back in and try to talk to her telepathically.
Okay.
And she's asked who is
Who is the beautiful friend to you?
the Green River is a friend, and we have rescued you from your captors. You are safe now.
Make a persuasion check at advantage for me.
Luckily, I have a high charisma. 23 plus 2.
You don't so much get words as a sense of relief coming from her. Um, and very, very slowly you hear coming to you, I will be there soon.
And I will tell her
And
I will wait, and I'll tell her I have food for her and her children.
Theros,
Hmm.
as you get ready to leave this barn to go and see if you can find food, the doors to this barn open, sliding open, and there you see Jacob Smith with what looks
Busted.
like with what looks like flagons of water and loaves of bread in his arms as he looks at you, looks at the carriage and sees it open, looks back to you and says, "What is the meaning of this? What are you doing?" And we're going to call things there. And we will pick up there come next week. But in the meantime, this is CEN, the Collective Entertainment Network. This has been Fables of Asraya. I want to thank my players, John, Rose, and Ray, for just honestly, it was great, guys. I feel like you guys did a really good job of thinking a lot of things out. I think you guys did absolutely phenomenal. And yeah, I'm looking forward to next week, where hopefully we should have Nost next week. And we get to go through his character introduction, which is going to be amazing. I love his character. But for those of you who are watching, thank you for watching through this. If you enjoyed what you watch, hit like, subscribe, recommend us to your friends, watch us on Twitch, watch us on YouTube, do all of that fun stuff in our ongoing battle against the YouTube algorithm, so that we might actually be seen more. With that said, my name is Mason. I have been your GM this evening, and thank you and good night.